What up? This is Coach Liebs, and this is a workout from December 27th featuring two guys who are preparing for the NFL draft. Juwann Winfree from the University of Colorado and Juju Wingate from Stony Brook University. Both guys are New Jersey natives, so I trained them quite a bit last summer and we got to know each other. I'm going to create a lot more of these long-form training videos where I'm documenting my training sessions with NFL athletes, D1 athletes, and then narrating over it with coaching points, advice, and tips for you guys to rewatch over and over. They'll be up for free on YouTube, and you can also find them on sidelinehustle.tv. But this is episode 1 of Wide Receiver Training Sessions, the NFL Draft Edition with Juju Wingate and Juwann Winfree. I hope you guys enjoy. Juwann, you're good. Juju, don't try not to twist as much, and just like you're cutting side to side. You're twisting a little bit. Yeah. That's a lot better. So this is the duck walk. This is something I really, really believe in, something that we warm up with just about every day. And it's just a great exercise for loosening the receiver's hips and really getting it so you're pushing off your insteps, the inside part of your foot, and making it so your ankle, your knee, and your hips are aligned so that when you push off the inside part of your foot, you create a violent hip shift. This is a great example of how the duck walk can help you when you have the ball in your hand, just being shifty with the ball in your hand, making people miss in the open field. Kind of the next development to the duck walk is what I call the skier, which is this drill right here. You can see Tim Wright and Dario Highsmith doing this from over the summer. And this is just really kind of exploding off your insteps, whereas now you see the duck walk is more shifting and creating that hip action. Both very useful, both have a lot of application to in-game movements and just an exercise I really believe in to warm up with the receivers. Another way this shows up in your game, you can kind of see it right here, is at the top of some of your breakpoints. This is what I call an inset at the top of a dig route. And the duck walk just really, again, loosens your hips so that when you do push off your insteps on this speed drop right here, you've really got some nasty hip action where you're going to be able to create separation. So this isn't bad by Juju at all. Look at his hips, moving back and forth pretty violently. Body's in line, knee inside your ankle. It's pretty good. He's getting a lot better with this, and he'll continue to loosen up. All right, you got 6 stance and start. Juwann has a bit of a false step issue that he was telling me about. From watching him the first day we worked out, I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that he didn't have enough weight over his front foot. So when you see his stance right here, I think his body lean is not quite right. He's a little low in his stance, leaning a little bit too far over his body with his upper body. And I think it's just because he's emphasizing getting weight over his toes. But I like kind of the stagger in his stance. I like the way he's positioned. I think he's exploding, off the ball pretty good and pretty efficiently. So I like the lower half of his stance. I think we got to fix the upper part of his torso. And you can see here too, when he explodes out, he's kind of rising his chest up a little bit. You can see where the natural positioning is for his chest as a runner. It's kind of at like that 45-degree angle. That's what we want him to be in the stance. He's a lot lower than 45 degrees right now. I want to get him a little bit higher at his chest over his toes at a 45-degree angle. That way when he fires out, it'll just be all at a level playing field and it looks a little bit more natural. If you watch Juju here, he's a big guy. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and his is pretty good. When you watch him explode out of his stance, he's rolling off that front foot. His pad level's pretty even. He's not raising up at all. That's a pretty good rep by him. Yeah, so you're gonna go like 80%, second inside, 1, drop pop, tennis ball, everything's explosive. Get reset again, drop pop, tennis ball. Then you get to the last cone, it's a square break, drop break line. Get here to the top, drop break line. You're gonna catch a football, get north and finish. This is a drill that, the training session before with these guys, we'd worked on quick game, worked on a lot of hitches, kind of cleaning that stuff up. This is a great drill just to really emphasize dropping on your inside leg, drop pop, which is a violent 2-step break point on a hitch, and then square break, which is drop break line, which is kind of the next extension of a drop pop. Really drop it on your inside foot, breaking and exploding violently inside. Really trying to break Juwann of a bad habit he developed, I think, early in his college career, and get him. He's dropping on his outside foot and going drop 1-2 gather, kind of an extra wasted movement where this should just be drop pop. Drop on your inside, run through it, drop pop, that's better. And Juju does a really good job of this in the white. Does a really good job of being efficient in the break area in this drill.
this is what you.
Good job. Very good.
This is what you.
Nice. Really slow it down. All right. And you're trying to. I'd rather just be perfect than fast. You'll drop it on your inside. Second inside. That inside step again. You should be reaching for this drop step. So you're throw your body into it. Better. Good.
You see Juwann's a little gentle here, kind of jogging through it. I don't mind that. I don't mind sacrificing speed for just trying to be intentional with your footwork and trying to be perfect with your footwork. It doesn't need to be terribly taxing and terribly fast. He dropped that last ball, so he's going to get 10 push-ups after this, but he's going right again to make up for the drop and get another rep in. Now when he dropped on his outside a little bit, there it is, a little hitch, but he dropped on his inside. There's a real efficient square break, drop break line. Good job.
So that's nice with the film.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Watch how tough it is.
You're gonna be a cinematographer.
Yeah.
Run through it.
Here's Juju, really pushes depth.
7 yards in the hit with your long ass legs.
7 yards
Run
depth.
through it.
Drop.
Jump out. There.
It's not bad. Run through it even more.
Very good job. Everything's
Drop.
fading.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Good. Yes, sir.
It's a good rep.
Yes, sir.
There's Juwann getting his 10 push-ups in for the drop.
You're running.
Run through it.
You know what I'm saying? That's an extra like half yard.
Throw your body into it. He needs an extra half-yard depth, a little more suddenness. That's what we're trying to get at with this right now. And that gives you more room for yards after the catch on the hitch route. Oh, drop it on his outside again. Drop it. There it is. Inside foot. That's good. Drop break line. Real efficient. Square break. That's a good rep. Way to finish. Way to finish.
Push your depth. Push your depth.
Not bad.
Push your depth.
There it is. It's a pretty good one.
Violent square break. Good double.
Finish, baby.
Good shit.
He's trying to make it difficult on these guys and challenge them at the end, even though it's a simple drill. Get right back up. He dropped the ball, and now he's starting over again. We'll make up for it. Finish with a perfect rep. That's pretty good. Dropping on his inside foot right there. That's sharp. That's sharp. For a big kid, he moves really well.
Just because like it helps, just the muscle memory of like. Were you there with Snoop?
We're talking about dropping through, walking through breakpoints. When I was at Rutgers, it's a way that those kids really picked up on it fast. Is they would be in their dorm room, literally walking through the breakpoint. Second inside, drop pop. One, drop pop, and just walk through the rhythm of it. In each route that had steps and breakpoints. Just that muscle memory really helps when it's kind of unfamiliar movements and in a way you haven't done it before. So I think walking through the breakpoints is a great way to make up for those reps. That's it right there. That's Juwann's first really good drop pop on his inside, running through it. And now he's back to his outside there. That wasn't good. I started him over. Drop on your inside, drop pop. Second inside, drop pop. Drop pop. There it is. That's a good rep. That's a good rep.
Good square break and finish.
That ain't it. He dropped on his outside foot.
You felt the drop on your outside?
You always want to drop in the direction you want to go. That's how you're most efficient in the break area. Drop your weight in the direction you want to go. Want to break inside, on a hitch or a square break right here, drop in the direction you want to go, and then break violently. Drop pop. That's good right there. Good job with his eyes on the tennis ball. He's dropping on his outside a little bit too. You can hear one too many pats. It shouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be 1, 2, 3. Drop on his outside again. Not bad. Drop off. There it is. That's a real good rep. That's a real good rep. You can tell he's getting more and more comfortable with this. He's got to finish.
I got you.
Juwann started his college career off at the University of Maryland, and he was there when Stefon Diggs was there. And he's still very close to Stefon Diggs. And in this clip, he's talking about how Steph has told him that in the NFL, they always teach the 1-2 break at the top of a square break, which I call drop break line. There's that drop break to get in and out of it. And Juwann had learned to drop on his outside foot and drop 1-2. And it's slightly less efficient than the way I've been taught and the way I'm trying to teach him now. So he's just kind of, relaying to me that he's heard this from NFL guys, and something he really wants to get used to is dropping on his inside foot in the direction he wants to go on these square breaks and be a little bit more efficient in the break area there. You can see Juju Wingate here. It's a pretty good rep. Drop break line, drop on his inside. And there's Juwann. You can see he's dropping on his outside, 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit less efficient. It's not what we want. We want to drop in the direction we want to go. So I took the cones away here because I felt like, they weren't spaced out great, and it was kind of causing them to shorten their stride because they're trying to get to the cone more than they're worried about just trusting their feet. I always talk about just run and trust your feet. I force them to count steps on a lot of routes rather than yardage because I just think it allows them to play a little faster and get into a rhythm with their footwork. Second inside drop pop is a rhythm that gets you to a 6-yard hitch. So I took the cones away so they could visualize it. That's a way to finish right there. Really good square break. That's clean. That's as efficient as it gets right there. Take another look at that. That is as efficient as it gets on a square break. Drop break line. That's really good. Here's Juju's last rep. Got a little wide there on the break point, on the hitch break point. That break step. That was not bad.
Square break, catch and pierce.
That's good. That's clean feet right there for a big guy.
Everyone get 3? Early, you just want to get around this cone as efficiently as you can. The biggest thing I want to work on is that the last thing out of your break is your eyes. Right? So what you don't want to do is here, you start looking early, that's when you fall, that's when you step outside of yourself, that's when you slip. So it's keeping your head down, everything's tight underneath you, as efficiently as you can around, attack this top cone, don't fade, you're gonna get one ball. Alright, yeah. But again, we're eventually going to progress to the tight break where it's going to be drop 1, 2, 3. Don't think of this as a break point.
This is a great drill just working on body control. I tell them not to worry about a specific break point here,
Back here,
but rather just really having proper body mechanics in and out of your break. Everything underneath your framework with your arms and your feet inside your framework. The last thing out of your break is your eyes.
Get really good at it. If you got to drop 1, 2, 3-ish. Again, I don't really want you to worry about the footwork as much as just the body mechanics. Staying square, opening your hips,
Stay low.
Alright, so once you're here, right, you break, drop break, you're driving, get this drive foot in the ground and try to extend, try and get it out in front of you. So there, you went, drop break and stepped underneath yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's why you didn't really go anywhere. Boom, boom, you get this in the ground in front of you. Now you can do that.
You see that? You see him stepping underneath himself there, so he's not really getting any momentum out of that break. He gets better out of here. Really good job kind of trying to drive for that. Still underneath himself a little bit, but just really trying to reach, and get running. It's a much better job. You see Juju here turning early, kind of turning his shoulders early before he breaks. That's not what we want to do. That's going to give away to the DB that we're breaking. I didn't catch it on the first rep, but I do catch him right here on the second rep. Make him start.
This shit's not as taxing. Yeah, right. It doesn't need to be. It's just it's more mental. It's all the mental games. You gotta fucking be on the mechanics, run yourself through a plan. A lot of shit.
Juwann's expressing that he likes these drills a lot because they're not as taxing as a lot of training he's been through. And I don't believe that it needs to be. I think this so much of being a great receiver is the mental game, is having a plan and having the perfect technique as far as, what's the most efficient break point I can use to get in and out. Not necessarily tiring you out and running a million routes, but just breaking down the real science of it, breaking down the mechanics of how to move most efficiently, and then how do I create a plan to win versus different coverages. That's more of what I try to train with these guys. In-game, real coaching football stuff. Not a bunch of cone drills to prove their quickness or anything like that. They can go somewhere else with that. This is real, the nitty-gritty of the mechanics and the nuances of playing wide receiver. There it is. Heck yes. That's a rep right there. That's a great job. In and out efficiently. Drop break line. Drop break line. That's a good rep too right there by Juwann. Good job with his eyes, focusing on the football.
You're always better when you go the second side. I think it's I think it's the left side, right side. This is the side I was on here.
So I told Juwann I feel like he's always better on one side or the other, and he was expressing that at Colorado they don't have like an X and a Z receiver where they switch sides and have positions in a formation. They have a right receiver and a left receiver, so they never switch sides. It's a no-tempo offense. You get a play to the right, a play to the left. So Juwann only lined up on one side of the ball every snap for 2 years there. So he kind of had some different habits on the other side when he's lined up the other way. Got to finish right there. Oh, that's great. I'll tell you what, this kid Juju's going to surprise some people. I really like his game. I think he's got great feet for a big guy. He's got to explode out of those breaks a little better, but his feet are clean. See how Juwann's really, see how Juju's really exploding out of his break a little bit better than Juwann is right now. Run out of it. There it is. That's better. That's better.
Side foot's up. Wall jog through it with no ball first. 1, 2, on your third. Drop. 1, 2, 3. That top, that third step, you're gonna turn at a 45-degree angle, and that's that drill we were just working on. Right, it's just the top of that route. So again, you're dropping in the direction you want to go. Drop, sink your hips. 1, 2, 3. Open your hips, run back to the quarterback.
That's a tight break, was the top of a curl route. Drop 1, 2, 3. We were working on the body mechanics, getting in and out of the top of that break. Now we're gonna put it all together. Put it all together. Drop 1, 2, 3, just like that. Drop in the direction you want to go. 3 quick, violent steps to gather yourself and get it out of your break. That ain't bad right there. He's dropping on his outside foot, so he's doing drop 1, 2, 3, 4. He's dropping on the wrong foot.
1, 2, drop.
That's it. That's better by Juju. That's much better. Pad level raised up a little bit there, so you'll see I'm going to do a drill to fix that after this. I saw his pads raised up a little bit. That's much better. Much better job. That's a good rep. So now I'm standing here with a red pad and making him dip underneath the pad at the top. Underneath, lower your pads. Everything playing low to lower. So now on this side, I don't think I was standing at the right location because we don't have yards here. And drop 1, 2, 3. He's dropping on his inside there. That's really clean. Drop 1, 2, 3. Now on this side, he was dropping on his outside foot. It took him 4 steps to get in and out. Drop 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, it's taking him 1 more step to get in and out, and that's not what we want. Plus, he dropped the ball. But it happens again here. Drop 1, 2, 3, 4. It's taking him 1 too many steps to get in and out. If he drops on his inside like this, drop 1, 2, 3, you can really get in and out efficiently. Same thing with Juju here. Drop 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's turning his shoulders too early. You want to stay square as long as possible. A few mechanics here that we really got to clean up on and get right for next time.